everyone, and today we're going to be doing a quick comparison and overview of two new devices from Motorola, the Nexus 6 and the Motorola Droid Turbo. Now in this video what we'll cover is things such as the design, specification, the camera, weight, and a whole lot of other things that we hope you will find useful when thinking about which of these two handsets you'd want to go for. Starting off with the design of these two handsets, as both of them are made by Motorola, they both have similar placements of the standby and the volume rockers. So you've got a very similar placement of all the buttons and the ports. So on the right hand side you have the standby and the volume rocker, as well as a micro USB at the bottom. So you've got a port there to charge your phone, and similarly at the top with the 3.5mm headphone jack. Now the size is of course going to be different. The Nexus 6 features a 5.9-inch display compared to the 5.2-inch display on the Droid Turbo. But as far as thickness goes, the Droid Turbo is between 8.3mm and 11.2mm. And that's because it's available in different textured backs. These both add different dimensions and also weight, but we'll get to that shortly. Compared to the Nexus 6, which is only 10.1mm thick, so the Nexus 6 is slightly slimmer. So a larger screen, but also a slimmer phone as well. Both do feel really nice in the hands. They both have a curved back, so it does follow the form of your palm quite nicely. Actually feels quite nice to hold in the hand than other phones, just the iPhone 6 Plus, which of course has that flat back, which does feel a bit more difficult to hold in the hand, but the curve does help to make a difference when holding either one of these two devices. Now, these two handsets are also similar in weight, even though there's a considerable size difference between the two. The metallic version of the Droid Turbo weighs 169 grams compared to the 184 grams Nexus 6. However, if you do go for the nylon ballistic version, which is this one here, it adds a bit of extra added weight. It's just something to bear in mind if you are looking for a phone which doesn't weigh too much. Moving on to build quality, if you haven't seen our previous video, we did an unboxing of the Droid Turbo in the nylon ballistic version. And the Droid Turbo is available in 3 different colours and also textures as well. So although there's 3 different colours, the metallic red and metallic black, and of course this ballistic nylon black, they are also different textures as well. Now this makes for what I believe a much stronger handset. It isn't just made from the plastic back which is found on the Nexus 6, which is a bit of a fingerprint magnet and I think will scratch quite easily. In defense of the Nexus 6, there is this aluminium border around the edge, so it will protect the phone if you are to drop it on any of the corners or the edge of the device. Both also have Gorilla Glass 3. By no means does it mean it's going to protect the screen from shattering if it is dropped. So those of you who have either one of these two devices or looking to get them, you may want some extra screen protection. At Orzly, we already have tempered glass screen protectors. I've got links in the description below, so definitely have a look at those. Both handsets are also water and dust resistant, so there is the added benefit of accidentally, if you are to drop your phone or get a bit of water on them, you're not going to have the functionality affected too much. So overall, the build quality of these two handsets is quite nice. They are made from quite luxury materials. They do feel quite nice to hold in the hand. If I had to pick one, the Droid Turbo is probably going to withstand a bit more damage than the Nexus 6, but the Nexus 6, I have to say, is quite nicely built as well. Moving on to the display of these two devices, both sport a Quad HD display with a resolution of 2560 by 1440 pixels, and both displays use AMOLED technology, so the screen quality on these two devices is extremely good. As the Droid Turbo is slightly smaller with its 5.2-inch screen, it has an insane 565 pixel density compared to the 493 on the 5.9-inch Nexus 6. I've had a chance to play around with both devices and the difference isn't that noticeable. I found watching videos on the Nexus 6 a lot better, mainly due to the larger screen. So I'm just open up a video now and you can get a side-by-side comparison of both of these two handsets.
You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change. You're all puppets, tangled in strings.
Also, another point to mention, the Nexus 6 features two front-facing speakers compared to just the one found at the top of the Droid Turbo. So this does help for making videos on the Nexus 6 slightly better. If I had to choose one based on the quality of video and sound, it would be the Nexus 6, even though the Droid Turbo does feature a higher pixel density. To test the cameras, we've gone outdoors, and to talk about the actual cameras, on the back, on the Droid, you have a 21 megapixel camera compared to the 13 megapixel camera on the Nexus 6. You've got a dual flash on here, and similarly with the Motorola Droid Turbo you have dual flash as well. Both these cameras have a front-facing 2 megapixel camera. Both the camera and the video quality is capable of 4K recording. I'm going to take a few pictures and just have those come up in the video shortly so you get an idea of the quality that you can expect. To give you an idea of the video quality, I've compiled these two videos together so you can get an idea of the quality that you can expect from these two handsets. So I'm just going to pan around this green bush here, and you can get an idea of how quickly these two devices can focus on an object and also how much light is collected in the lens. So that's a quick comparison of the camera quality on these two devices. They are similar. Of course, you have got the 21 megapixels on the Droid Turbo, but both do come up with very good and decent picture quality, so there isn't much to choose between the two. Both of these handsets are packed with some insane hardware that makes loading apps, playing games or watching videos extremely smooth. Both fitted with the Snapdragon 805 chipset clocked at 2.7 GHz and up to 3 GB of RAM, which is the highest you can get on a smartphone at this moment in time. For both the Nexus 6 and the Droid Turbo, they're available in 32 and 64 GB models. Unfortunately, no option for expansion of memory on either one of these devices, which is a slight downer, but I'm sure for many, 32 GB or 64 GB is more than enough memory. And just to show you a comparison of the speed, I've just done a quick benchmark test. So let me just open that up on both of these devices. So here's the result of the benchmark test. They are very similar. However, compared to other devices, these two do come out on top. So definitely the hardware inside of these two devices are definitely monsters. They're going to be able to handle multitasking extremely well, and also high processor applications such as games or videos as well. Out of the box, the Droid Turbo is pre-installed with KitKat 4.4.4, whereas the Nexus 6 comes pre-installed with Lollipop 5.0. I can't imagine it being too long until the Droid Turbo can be updated to the latest Android OS, but judging by the hardware inside of this phone and also the Nexus 6, both of these are capable of running Lollipop without any issues, but we'll keep you updated on that after a bit more usage of the OS on both of these two phones. Now lastly, price. Both handsets start at around the same price point. For around $600 you can get the 32 GB models for either one of these two handsets, with the 64 GB version of course being a little bit more expensive. It's a similar price point to many other devices such as the Note 4, but not the iPhone 6 Plus, which is a lot more expensive than either one of these two Motorola handsets. Overall, the two handsets are both packed with some high-level hardware and a pretty strong build quality as well, so they're going to be built to last and be able to update the Android OS for many years to come. If I had to pick between one of these two, it would have to be the Nexus 6. It's mainly due to the larger display. Although it does have a slightly lower pixel density, the videos and images on this device do look nothing short of amazing. Not to say the display and the quality on the Droid Turbo is bad. I'll just go for the larger screen Nexus 6. So coupled with these two front-facing speakers as well, I felt the phone gives a much better experience for those who are using their phones for mainly media purposes, so watching videos, using apps or playing games. Now on the battery side of things, the Droid Turbo is impressive. However, you can these days optimize your chipset. You can change your apps in terms of the power usage, so you can get a decent amount of usage from the Nexus 6 even with the smaller battery capacity than the Droid Turbo. On the plus side, the Droid Turbo is slightly better in terms of build quality. The Nexus 6 is not terrible either, so there's not much to choose there. Now this is my personal opinion. We'd love to hear what you think and what you choose. And just drop them in the comments and let us know what you think. Of course, at Orzly, we have got cases and accessories for both of these two devices, so be sure to check them out. I've got a few links in the description, so you can check those out. And also on our YouTube channel, where we've got a few videos of cases and accessories for the Nexus 6 already. Now on a final note, some of you may have already seen our comparison infographic of the Nexus 6 Note for the OnePlus One and the iPhone 6 Plus. Now coming soon, we've got our hands on all four of these devices, and we're going to do a hands-on comparison of these four devices, so stay tuned for that. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it as well. Thanks for watching.